Hello, it's Jessica Hartley, and today I want to talk to you about relationships, as I always do. However, this time I want to talk about breakup because you're creating your reality in your relationship based on the beliefs that you carry inside of you. Let's break it down. If we have Jill, for example, sometimes it's Jack, but right now we're just going to go with Jill. Let's say Jill is wanting to have more connection in her relationship, and Jack is always working. He's never home. He doesn't help with the kids, and Jill feels like she's doing all the work. She doesn't have time to herself. She doesn't have the participation from him with parenting that she wished she had. She doesn't, and she feels like she's doing everything. She's cleaning the house, she's doing this, she's doing that. And so when she looks at him, she's going to see him going off to the gym and going off to Home Depot and doing all the things he wants to do, but is not putting much time or effort into the relationship. So because of that, she sees inside of him and inside of what he's doing inside the relationship, she sees that he doesn't care. So she's creating meaning. He doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about the kids. He doesn't want to be in this relationship. There are many different thoughts that she could be thinking as a reaction to that experience. So in turn, she's going to say to herself, well, then I better protect myself and close my heart. Since he doesn't care about me, I'm going to close my heart too and stop caring so much about him. Or she could say, react in fear. Fear, for example, that what is he doing with all of his time? Is he seeing another woman? So therefore, my fear reaction is going to want to know where he is, ask him to be home all the time, create all of these rules and expectations inside of the relationship. Or she might react in sadness and create, be very sad around him, give him the cold shoulder, or anger, to where she starts yelling and getting very upset with Jack. So all of these are different scenarios that happen. Okay, it seems like I'm pulling them out of oblivion, but I'm recalling experiences of people that I've talked to. So they happen all the time, and they're very common. And all of these things, it's like this is stimulus A. Then it creates stimulus B, which is creating a reaction, stimulus C. And then that creates fight, conflict, ultimately separation and divorce. And all of that is just a ricochet of like one belief that's negative, ricocheting off something else, creating something else over here. And it just creates this downward spiral. And that is the problem here. That is what leads to conflict and divorce. But see, the thing is that it's all belief and it's meanings that we're taking from all of these things, and then the behavior or reaction that we elicit from that meaning that we take. So the core belief here was that I'm doing all of this and they're not meeting me and reciprocating. So therefore, downward spiral. Does that make sense? It's a belief. Here's the opposite. Here's a new belief that would serve your relationship a lot more powerfully. I'm doing A, B, and C, and I don't see them reciprocating. Maybe they have the best of intentions and just don't understand, or they're not paying attention. Maybe they love me so deeply that they are showing their love in different ways. Maybe I could just approach them and say, hey, Jack, You know what? I really appreciate all of the work that you're doing. I appreciate your working hard. I love that you are taking care of yourself and going to the gym and making that a priority. Wow, I get the benefit of an amazing body on you. How awesome is that? And you know what else? I would love for us to spend more time together. Would it be okay if you set aside some time next weekend for us to go out on a weekend getaway? Or maybe we could create some time after work where you spend some time with the kids and I would really love and appreciate that. It would mean a lot to me because that's how I receive love. And that's how I would feel nurtured. Or here's another example. Hey, Jack, I love that you do so much work. I love that you're doing all of these things for yourself. I would love to do some of those things too. You're inspiring me. I'm thinking about going for a run twice a week. Do you think you could be home to watch the kids so that I could also do that? Another example is, well, we don't need more examples, but here's the thing. The thing that I want to explain or leave you with this thought is that it's a belief. And if you just change your perspective on what's going on inside of your relationship, then you're going to create the opposite of that downward spiral. See, it's only becomes a downward spiral because you choose. You absolutely are in charge of the perceptions that you choose, and then the reactions that come from those perceptions. And I get it. I absolutely get it. When you are seeing things a certain way, after that, our reactions seem so instinctual, so natural, so out of our control sometimes, because our mind kicks in and says, oh, I better nip this in the bud. I better take care of this. I need to make sure this doesn't happen again. I need to make sure this stops happening. Da 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 da. And so the mind is one of our greatest tools, but not the most powerful tool. Our mind is secondary to our heart and our inner knowing and our intuition. We need to let our heart and our intuition lead the way and allow our mind to take orders from our heart, to follow suit and say, mind, this is what we need to do. Or you can use your mind to allow you to check the situation and say, whoa, what perception am I choosing in this moment? And what perception would serve me better? Because at the end of the day, if you are the person that's going to look at what's going on in your relationship and see the bad and see the negative and then create meaning and reactions that are so seemingly out of your control, anger, sadness, jealousy, protection, these things come very naturally. It's very hard to stop the downward spiral in those emotions, especially if they trigger big emotions from some of our childhood wounds. But it's a lot easier to stop that in the perception that we choose to take from the very beginning. So if you take control and let your heart choose, what feels better for me? What is a better perception of this situation? And how can I react from that way? We open the door to so many more better ways to be and react in our relationship than ever before, than you had access to before. Because when you start thinking and perceiving this way, you go into big emotion. And when you're in big emotion, you actually shut off. It's like a door. You shut off access to your rational mind to where you can create better ideas and have access to the bigger picture. So many times when things are going bad, when we're in that downward spiral, we're so tunnel vision focused that we don't see the bigger picture, what's going on. And I know that you and I are really capable of that. We as humans are capable of being able to see and react from the bigger picture. And I've been there. I've been there in that downward spiral, reacting by those big emotions. I know what it feels like. And it's so hard to get out of that tunnel vision, big emotion, reaction feelings, negative feelings. They feel so bad. And that's how you know they're not true for you in this time and space right now. So take space. If you're in those emotions, take space. And I want you to just meditate if you can and just let go. Like, really just let go. Choose to sit in the self of who you are that is bigger than all of the meanings and beliefs that you choose, because that's exactly what they are. They're fleeting thoughts. They're a thought that created all of this. So choose to be in charge. Choose to let your heart lead the way in your relationship. And when you do, you'll find that it's not about you need to meet me halfway and you're not meeting me halfway, so therefore we have to dissolve this relationship. Absolutely not. It's about, hey, I would like something even better, and it's okay for me to ask for it, and it's okay for me to react in better perceptions that are going to naturally create better outcomes. I mean, you can just tell, I'm sure, by the way in those examples that I gave you, that Jack's reaction to me, when I have a better perception about what's really going on, a bigger perception about what's going on, is going to be much more open and kind and giving, and we're going to have access to both of our empathy and our understanding and our loving. Because if you're in a relationship with someone, you love them and they love you, no matter how bad it is. I can tell you absolutely that's the truth. And they want to be able to have their own freedom and their own authenticity at the same time as being in relationship with you. And that is the reason that there's conflict. It's because when we react and perceive things out of fear or out of a negative emotion, we react and create situations. We create these negative situations that they start to get triggered by, and then they start to do their own downward spiral, and then you have two negative downward spirals reacting off of each other, and that is never, never good. So if you're listening to this right now, you are going to be the person that creates the change. If they're in their downward spiral, you are the one that's going to stop it, and you are the one that's going to be the bigger person and step out of it and choose something better. Take control of your thoughts and the perceptions that you choose, because it is about that. That is what creates either the positive experience of relationship or negative experience of relationship. And it's that alone. It is really not about anything else. It's about that. So choose to see the good. Choose to react from the good. Choose to create from the good. Choose to ask for what you want from the good. And choose to be who you really are in this relationship, which I know is an empathetic uplifter, full of love, wanting to serve, wanting to give, wanting to be the best that you are in all of your authenticity for yourself, for Jack, for Jill, for your kids, for the world. That's who you are. That's who we all are. That's who I am, and that's who you are. So be that person and have an amazing day in your relationship. Bye for now.